Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're jumping right into a really profound philosophical concept from a text known as the Sixth Word. It's one of those deep, transformative ideas that, honestly, once it clicks for you, it completely reshapes how you look at your everyday routines, your ambitions, and kinda even your own sense of self. We're talking about the concept of selling the trust back to its owner. So, let's just dive right in.
Here's the big question. How does one sell what the creator gave them back to the creator? I mean, it's a little jarring, right? It immediately hits you with this cognitive dissonance. Because think about it. If you've received something from the absolute owner of everything, how on earth do you turn around and sell it back to him? We're talking about our very bodies, our time, our talents, our wealth. We didn't create any of this stuff. We don't inherently own it. So the whole premise of this sale seems kind of absurd at first glance.
Section 1. A Great Paradox. The Mystery of the Ultimate Transaction.
Picture this. You're the protagonist in this grand story, and you're suddenly handed a mysterious, incredibly valuable treasure. You're holding it right there in your hands, but you have absolutely no clue how to invest it, how to protect it, or even what it's truly worth. Well, that treasure is your life, and you're told the absolute best way to secure it is to trade it back to the one who gave it to you in the first place. But here's the catch. You already live in his given body. You think with his given mind. You survive entirely on his sustenance. The creator doesn't have any needs, right? He lacks nothing, and we inherently own nothing. It's like you can't exactly sell a house back to the landlord who just let you live in it for free. A literal commercial cash for goods sale makes 0 sense here.
Section 2. What does selling actually mean? Redefining our spiritual commerce.
So, to resolve this paradox, we actually have to completely shift our understanding. We got to step away from the Wall Street definition of commerce and step into a totally different framework. Selling, in this specific philosophical context, means using one's body, time, talent, and property, not for fleeting, selfish desires, but according to the Creator's pleasure, permission, and measure. It's essentially an intentional alignment of your purpose. It means taking all those things you have temporary control over, your youth, your energy, your wealth, and just turning them over to the true owner's account. You're basically saying, hey, I'm going to operate this machinery exactly according to the manufacturer's manual.
Now, you might be sitting there wondering, wait a second, if I give it all back, do I lose my life? Am I just supposed to go sit in a cave somewhere? Absolutely not. No way. You do not lose the best parts of being alive in this trade. You're still using your intellect. You're still working hard, earning a living, loving deeply, and actively living your life. The trust, your life and your faculties, it's not physically taken away from you. You still get to experience all these wonderfully human things. But the difference is, now you do them with what we call a powerful trust consciousness. You realize you are a steward rather than the absolute owner.
Section 3. Trust, Consciousness, and Daily Life. Elevating the Ordinary.
So what does this actually look like on a random Tuesday morning? How does this theoretical transaction change the seemingly mundane actions of our daily routines? Well, let's consider a student. On the one hand, you have studying just to get good grades. This is the ordinary, somewhat ego-driven way of living. It's finite. It literally ends the second the exam ends. But on the flip side, you have studying to properly use a God-given intellect and become a useful person. Do you see the shift there? The physical action of reading the textbook is exactly the same, but the intention entirely elevates it. That purpose-driven approach turns a totally mundane school assignment into an act of honoring a sacred trust.
And this beautifully applies to the working professional too. There's a massive difference between earning money simply to consume it versus earning what is halal, meaning within the permitted ethical sphere, without waste and remembering to share. The source material proves that engaging with the material world isn't forbidden. Actually, it's hardly encouraged, but it has to be done ethically. When you work hard to provide for your family and you share your wealth, rather than just endlessly consuming for your own ego, you are actively selling your labor back to the Creator. You're quite literally increasing the value of that trust.
Section 4. From Finite Life to Eternal Fruits. The Ultimate Payoff.
Every sale has a price, right? A return on investment. So what's the payoff for this monumental shift in perspective? The staggering reality here is that when lived on the true owner's account, a finite life yields eternal, limitless fruits like paradise. Just really think about that for a second. Our lives are painfully short. Our energy fades, our wealth is eventually left behind, but doing things with this trust consciousness exponentially multiplies their value. It takes something temporary, just a few decades here on Earth, and converts it into something permanent and eternal. That is the incredible price offered in this unique trade. You are literally trading the temporary for the infinite.
Section 5. For whom do you live? Choosing your life's account.
We live in this fast-paced, modern world that's constantly pushing us towards a purely consumer-driven existence. It's so easy to slip into a cycle where everything just feels a bit meaningless. So I want to turn the lens back onto you for a second. Honestly assess your daily motivations. Ask yourself, are you living just to be liked, to earn, and to consume? Are you trapped in that endless, exhausting treadmill of seeking validation and gathering things you can't even keep? Or are you living to make the things you were given truly valuable? Are you actively using your talents, your time, and your resources as a sacred trust? This is the fundamental choice we face every single morning when we wake up.
The text leaves us with this incredible realization. Selling the trust to its owner is not losing it, it is finding its true value. Take a moment to really let that sink in. You aren't giving up your life, you aren't losing out on joy or success or love. By acknowledging who the true owner is and operating on his account, you are finally unlocking the absolute, limitless value of your existence. You aren't losing the trust, you're finally discovering what it's actually worth.
Which brings us to our final question. On whose behalf are you using your life? I want to leave you with this provocative, lingering thought. Don't just close this explainer and move on to the next thing on your feed. Let this question sit with you today. Let it challenge you to continuously apply this trust consciousness to your own journey, whether that's in your work, your studies, or your relationships. Thank you so much for joining me, and I challenge you to find the true value in your trust today.